top news stories making the headlines in today's newspapers. And of course, we would love to hear from you. So please feel free to join in the conversation by calling in or sending us a WhatsApp message. You can also share your thoughts on our Facebook page. To reach out to us via call, the number to call is 0808 704 1217, 0808 704 1217. To text us on WhatsApp, 0901 615 0614, 0901 615 0614. We're also on social media at Bright FM Abuja. That's on Facebook and on YouTube. So you can reach out to us or follow us on all our social media platforms. So please settle in. Let's get into today's headlines together. All right, as usual, we're going to begin by just running through all of the headlines for today. We're beginning with APC PDP resume battle as Edo Tribunal begins a hearing Monday. That's on Punch newspaper this morning. Moving forward to Vanguard, vandalism, TCN restores power supply to Ahauda and Yanagua 132 kV line. Vandalism, TCN restores power supply to Ahauda, Yanagua 132 kV line. That's on Vanguard. Now, moving forward, minimum wage, NLC gives Governor Eno midnight ultimatum to sign agreement or face strike. Now, moving forward to The Nation this morning, rich people not paying adequate tax in Nigeria, says Jimo Ibrahim, and that's on The Nation newspaper. Rich people not paying adequate tax in Nigeria, says Jimo Ibrahim, and that's on The Nation. Now, still on The Nation newspaper, Tinubu's government will stop hunger, fight insecurity, says Wike. This one is on The Nation. Tinubu's government will stop hunger, fight insecurity, says Wike. That's on The Nation. Now, still on The Nation, how to tackle sexual harassment in schools by lecturer. This one is on The Nation newspaper. Moving forward, still on The Nation, ICT gadgets, major distraction for students, says University Dawn. ICT gadgets, major distraction for students, says University Dawn. This one is on The Nation newspaper this morning. On leadership, 20.8% of Nigerian households borrow food to eat. And this one is on leadership. 20.8% of Nigerian households borrow food to eat. This is on leadership newspaper. Now on Blueprint this morning, corruption will not be legitimized, FG vows, and tax EFCC, ICPC on public awareness. This one is on Blueprint. Corruption will not be legitimized, FG vows, tasks EFCC, ICPC on public awareness. This one is on Blueprint newspaper. And that's all of the headlines for this morning. When we come back, the conversation begins. And please do not forget that you can be part of the conversation. In fact, we love to hear from you. We encourage you to be part of the conversation. You can call in on 0808 704 1217, 0808 704 1217, to send us a text message on WhatsApp 0901 615 0614. Stay with us. Kebby, did you notice that there's one that there's no you did not put the newspaper? Check it out. Because this conversation has started. Hello, good morning, everybody. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really, really appreciate it if you take out time to subscribe to my YouTube channel and just enjoy the conversation this morning. All right, right, so this morning we're going to begin with this conversation right here on Vanguard newspaper as regards the case of vandalism. Let's look into the main story. Now, the headline reads, Vandalism, TCN restores power supply to Ahada Yenagoa 132 kV line, and this one is on Vanguard. Into the main story, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has successfully replaced 20 power transmission towers destroyed by vandals and restored bulk power supply line. Now, the line was energized on November 2024 following the reconstruction of collapsed towers and restringing of vandalized conductors by TCN contractors. The vandalism incident, which occurred in August, had destroyed 13 towers in several communities in Rivers State, impacting an additional 7 towers and leaving Bayelsa State without grid power supply. Moving forward, a team of TCN engineers led by the Port Harcourt Region General Manager Engineer Emmanuel Akpa conducted a final inspection on the work done on November 28, 2024. The team verified the integrity of the newly erected towers, and after confirming that all work met required standards, the line was cleared for energization. Now, TCN has also begun discussions with stakeholders in Bayelsa and Rivers State to implement a comprehensive community engagement program aimed at educating local communities on the consequences of vandalism and theft of power infrastructure. Now, the community engagement program will involve appointing community representatives to oversee the security of power equipment in their areas, fostering a sense of local ownership and accountability for infrastructure. TCN has appealed to the public to support the nationwide campaign against vandalism of power infrastructure, emphasizing that collective action is essential to safeguarding the country's electricity assets for a sustainable development. I feel like this is a very fantastic one this morning because we've had conversations regarding vandalism. I think the last conversation that we had on vandalism, it was when I think it was TCN chairman or someone, a director in the power supply industry, the TCN Company of Nigeria, came out to say that, okay, you know what, we've been seeing, we've been catching up with some vandals, but again, they are always released on bail. Because they are not charged for vandalism, they are charged for theft. And, we kept saying that, if you don't charge these people, for their crime and persecute them for their crime, when you take them back into the streets, they're going to continue from where they stopped. And I also remember that during that conversation, we talked about how that there needs to be need for sensitization also, and people in the community, because this is their lives, is your power supply. You have to also be part of, keeping yourself and the community accountable. So now the good news is that for Goa, the power supply has been restored, and we're hopeful. We're being hopeful that vandals will not go there again. Again, part of the things that the TCN is doing is that they're trying to educate the local communities, right? And they're trying to do a community engagement program where they would appoint people from the communities, as representatives to make sure that these power equipments are, put in their control. They oversee this power equipment in their area, because you know how it is that when people in the community are put in charge, they feel like, okay, this is our own thing. It's no longer government, so concern us. Anything we will happen, make it happen. No, there's a sense of ownership. Kev, what do you think?
It's a good one. Coming from the fact that their light has actually been having, was vandalized. And now that the TCN is coming and say they have fixed it and bringing in the community people,
yes,
it's a good one, because with that way they will have that mindset that since it's our own, we're going to protect it. And it's good that they're educating them to let them know that, okay, in as much, because some there in the community too are also partaking in all this vandalism. So you need to educate them to let them know that in as much as you're destroying government property,
you think that you're destroying government property, you're causing yourself harm.
You're also causing damage to yourself, because there are so many things you're going to use the light for, but you cannot use it because you're vandalizing the light. So it's a good thing they are going to educate them, to let them know reason why vandalism of light is not good, and also bring in the community, because when you involve these people in, they feel like the government is letting them to be in charge. So letting them be in charge is also letting them know that, okay, whatever thing that happened to the lights, you are also held accountable. So they'll have to give reports, and they'll have to put in all their efforts to make sure that the light is being safeguarded. And it's a good thing that they have the lights back.
And Kevin, if you ask me, I also think that it shouldn't just be for Rivers and Bayelsa State. This sensitization program or this campaign, it should cut across all states, all communities. I mean, they should invest in this nationwide campaign against vandalism. There should be sensitization programs, around several communities in different states, just basically saying, okay, you know what, come, let's do this thing together, collectively, all hands on deck. Because just like we said before, it's not about fixing and fixing it. It's when you fix it, are we sure that these people are not going to vandalize this again, causing, power outage? So I think that this is a good development, and I feel like it's going to help in a way or two, to sensitize people on the need for ownership mentality in protecting something that is going to serve you. Okay, all the while that there's been no light in this area, who has been suffering it? Is it the government?
It's them.
It's them. It's them. So this is a right step in the right direction, and we were encouraged, the TCN, to extend extend this sensitization, or this campaign. Just make sure that it goes round every community.
But if you notice, this is not just the only first time they're saying it. Well, now they're coming out to educate the people. Well, before they tell them reasons why they should stop vandalism, because most of the vandalism that has been going on with light, at the end of the news, you see they come out to say we're letting the people know that they should not do like this. But with this now, it's like they are making it better than the normal one that you just talk and all. And they're involving the people. So it's good they're involving the people rather than just
appointing community representatives.
Yes, rather than coming out to just educate them, because even if you educate, there are still some that will still believe that if they steal from the light, they'll sell it at a cheaper rate. So now you're bringing them in, and they'll put all their mind into it, believing that, okay, it's our own now, it's our work.
Exactly. So, another thing is that these people that they are appointing, they are members of the community, so they have eyes and ears almost everywhere, so you can get the necessary information that you even need, from these people, more than just employing maybe security personnel. We need security personnel to be part of the team, not that they are just going to be the only ones, because I mean, maybe they might even be new in the community, they don't know their way around, they don't even understand the language. There's just about a lot of barrier. But when you have in-housers, people that are part of the community, exactly, being the representatives or part of the community of people who are safeguarding this equipment, I think that they are really going to make a headway. And this approach should also be applied in several communities and several states across the country. So that one is a good development. Charles has joined us in the studio this morning. Charles, good morning to you. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. Now let's move over to the next story, and this one is on minimum wage. It's on Vanguard. NLC gives Governor Eno midnight ultimatum to sign the agreement on the new minimum wage and declare its implementation date by midnight, December 3rd, 2024. Now, the NLC had delayed joining the nationwide strike on December 1st, 2024, out of respect for the governor who recently buried his late wife. The NLC has recognized the governor's approval of 80,000 naira minimum wage and is urging him to sign the wage agreement, including the implementation date, while staff verification continues. The union has also criticized delayed salary payments since September 2024 and threatened to picket one of the bank if the trend persists. Additionally, workers have been directed to stage a mass protest at the Akwa Ibom Government House on December 9th, 2024 if demands remain unmet. The NLC has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring the welfare of workers and urged the government to prioritize meeting its obligations. The union stands as part of a broader effort to protect workers' rights and promote fair labor practices in Nigeria. With the ultimatum expiring, all eyes are on Governor Eno to see if he will meet the NLC's demands and avert a potential disruptive strike. It was yesterday that we talked about, I think that was Ebonyi State, and the Ebonyi State governor threatening exactly no work, no pay. And during that conversation yesterday, we said that would be wickedness on his part. Especially because in fact, every one person has agreed that, what, this salary or this minimum wage is not even enough at the time. And we understand disparities in different states. But again, I mean, workers need to be paid and paid properly. And if there should be a problem, fix it with the federal government, And NLC, came out to say, what, this minimum wage, the president has okayed it. There's a go ahead. So please, all of the states, make sure that you go ahead and implement the new minimum wage. But some states up until now are finding it difficult to, and part of those states, Ebonyi State as at yesterday, and now we're looking at Akwa Ibom State. He has still not signed the agreement on the new minimum wage. But again, the NLC has recognized that the governor has approved 80,000 naira as minimum wage, but he has not, signed the wage into agreement. He has not included an implementation date, and there's standing salary payments since of 2024. So this is where we're at. And the NLC is saying, in fact, the reason why we did not even start the strike on first with other people is because we're respecting exactly the loss of your wife, and all of that. But let's look at this conversation generally, Kirby.
Yesterday we talked about the saying that it's not compulsory, like it's not mandatory for you to pay higher than 70 because the president said signed in 70s. Other state governors are being compassionate and considerate their workers there and saying that okay, we'll add more, some 71, 72, 85 and the rest. Now you coming out to say you don't want to, or you're finding it difficult to pay your workers that do your duty, that do the duty of the state to make sure that the state grow. It's something else, because why won't you pay what has been signed in to your workers? It's not difficult. It's just for, okay, even if you don't have it now, you can let the NLC leader, two of you can have meeting and say, okay, see, it's actually difficult for me now to pay, despite the fact that even holding, they have not paid their salary from September.
Because that's another thing to look
so
at.
You can actually talk to them and the NLC leader and say, okay, see, one or two we cannot pay for now, maybe next year or so. It's understanding that, say, coming out to say you are not paying, or coming out to just, it's one thing to write and talk about that you want to do 80,000, and it's another thing to implement it.
Yes.
So the man needs to step up.
Charles.
While KB was speaking, I was analyzing the whole situation, looking at the fact that, first of all, he didn't agree to he exceeded the 70,000 minimum wage.
Yes.
And went for
80,000 naira.
And while still they're still on the deliberation of the implementation date, they're still owing salaries from September. So I see the difficulty. I feel like NLC's priorities is, should I say, misplaced, because in this case of you're trying to get an increase in the minimum wage, and the previous ones have not been paid, and you're fighting for the implementation of the increase.
So about priorities being misplaced, you know that for this one, NLC is fighting one cause.
Yeah.
This is the delay in the payments of salary is just for Akwa Ibom State, you know, but this is for this particular.
Actually, I'm looking at the particular region where, or the state where this particular challenge is.
Akwa Ibom
Akwa Ibom
State.
State. Now, looking at the fact that they're still owing salaries till September, well,
It will be difficult for them
it's
to
good.
pay.
It's not even
I've said
difficult,
it.
it's
I've
more-
said it now.
And that's exactly what I was trying to talk about.
Yeah.
It feels like all this declaration of this is what it's going to be, just audio, and just
audio
talks.
comments.
You
And
know,
just talks.
I've been saying it that when minimum wage was 30,000 naira, we still had states who were not able
to
to
pay.
pay. And I kept saying that it's not even about saying, okay, you know what, we've agreed to pay 70,000 naira. The problem is continuity. The problem is, are you going to, you know, be consistent in paying workers their salaries? Because, I mean, you've not paid salary since September. You would have just said, okay, since government say we should pay 70, let me just pay 70 or 71. Let me pay what I can pay. Not saying, okay, let's pay 80,000 there. You've not paid the backlog of salaries that you've been owing workers since September. How are we sure that you're going to be able to meet up to this 80,000 naira minimum wage that you have said, okay, I'm going to pay?
It's in the future.
That's where I have a challenge with things that we do, especially in this administration. Not just even in this administration. It's been a problem in Nigeria here because, like you mentioned, when 30,000 naira was the minimum wage, it was still very difficult to even implement it or even to pay that minimum wage. So looking at it, that means the Akwa Ibom State government is still owing from the 30,000 naira minimum wage, and it's finding it difficult to pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Not even to talk of the implementation of, or when they now implement the 80,000 naira, and would see how difficult it's going to be for them. Now the question is the state's GDP not growing? Are they not actually making money in the states? Are they not working in the states? Is that why there's a backlog in payment? These are questions that should be asked. And while looking at that, are you also saying that taxpayers are not paying their taxes? Because are they not supposed to be paying their taxes from the increase of the minimum wage? So if you're not paying them their pay or their wage, basically, they are not paying their taxes. That's what I've seen how regressed this is. If you're not paying them, they're not paying back to the states, and that's why there's a backlog.
Just running around in circles.
Exactly. So while they're still, or while there's the NLC still insisting that they implement the minimum wage or the increase of the minimum wage, I would still implore the Akwa Ibom State government to really look into why they haven't paid
The backlog.
the backlog.
Also, NLC has directed its workers to stage a mass protest at the Akwa Ibom State Government House. That's on December 9th. Today is what, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's on December 9th. If the demands remain unmet, what do you think that before that time the government is going to come to terms with what they want and would avert the strike?
Well, looking at the fact that they are still on their staffs, the workers, how do you think they are going to meet up with the 80,000? Even the 70,000 that the president signed, he went to increase it, so how do you expect him to pay when he's still on the staff? So I don't see before that night anything happening. It's still going to be the way.
Charles, what do you think?
Like Avery said, the fact that these are not magic, they're not magicians. It's not. We're not just going to wave a wand and everything changes. They're not just gonna. If they're finding it difficult right now, the deadline that was given is a deadline. it might just not be the exact time that we're going to see it. So we're just looking at that at an emerging strike.
Let's see how it is going to play out. I think that the Akwa Ibom state government still has, and also see if they can pay the backlog, because I mean this is a festive period. People need to take care of themselves, be part of what is going on, celebrate. Please, September, October. Now that's 3 months salary. Then December, that's a lot. So the Akwa Ibom state government really needs to do more in that line. Now let's move forward to this story on Punch newspaper this morning. But before that, in case you want to be part of the conversation, the number is 0808 704 1217, 0808 704 1217. That's our call line. And to text us on WhatsApp 0901 615 0614. You can be part of the conversation. Now, moving forward, the Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal is set to begin pre-hearing on Monday in Benin, and that's following petitions challenging the victory of Senator Monday Okpebolo of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in September 21, 2024 governorship election. Now, according to the Tribunal Secretary Mazua Bugudu, the pre-hearing will commence on Monday, marking the beginning of the judicial scrutiny of the petitions. The Independent National Electoral Commission has declared Okpebolo the winner of the poll, securing 291,667 votes to defeat the People's Democratic Party candidate Dr. Igodalo, who scored 247,274 votes, and Labour Party's Olumide, who garnered 22,763 votes. Now, however, dissatisfied with INEC's declaration, the PDP, along with 6 other political parties, filed petitions before the tribunal seeking to overturn the election results. The PDP, in its suit, is asking the tribunal to nullify the election results and declare Igodalo as the rightful winner. Other parties, including Accord Party, Alliance Party, Social Democratic Party, Allied People's Movement, Action Democratic Party, and Zenith Labour Party have also filed suits challenging INEC's decision and Okpebolo's victory. The PDP caretaker chairman in Edo State, Tony, expressed confidence in the tribunal, stating that the judiciary will look at the overwhelming evidence presented. The APC, on the other hand, has affirmed its readiness to defend its mandate, with spokesperson Peter stating that the party has the best legal team and is prepared to counter the PDP's claims. The tribunal decision is eagerly awaited, as it will determine the validity of the election results and the fate of Okpebolo's governorship. The judicial system and political parties. Since the Edo State election happened, a lot of persons have been questioning the INEC result. But again, this is where we're at. Let me hear your thoughts.
My opinion about this is the fact that after we conduct and do air quotes here of a peaceful election and a free and fair democratic election,
we have to go to court.
We have to still go to court.
It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in, and it's becoming a culture and a norm in this country, and it shouldn't be. Because if we really want to, if we are going to let the courts decide this, let us drop the electoral process then. There's no need for us to be doing that. Let's go to court, do a parliament, let's hear from debates, throw out your manifesto, let's hear it, and then let the judges decide who is a better fit.
Since it's no longer the people that are deciding.
Since it's no longer the people deciding. Let's stop this. The election now looks like a charade and a time to just waste money. Because after all of that, you still have to go back to the courts to settle the matter that the so-called people decided. It's a problem, and it's becoming a parasite in the democracy of this country, and we need to curb it before it escalates. Honestly, we really need to curb it.
Kevin predicted this election. Kevin, so there should be something to say.
Well, I don't know, but let me say, I don't want to jump into conclusion, but first of all, the way election is being conducted in Nigeria, I no longer see it as we right to vote and we voted for again. I see that if you're in power, you have the power to take whatever position you want. Now, looking at this situation, you see that Okpebolo is already on seat and is doing a lot. So far, so good. I'm listening to the news. Like he's been doing a
Yes.
lot, and this issue is still coming up again, and them saying APC is the one ruling. They're the ones controlling now. And you think, like, I'm still thinking, by the respect APC that has come out as they came out to say they want to make sure that their party rule most of the states. So how do you expect them to step down for you, even if the court says nowadays they're not strong? So how do you expect them to step down for you when they're already sitting there, when he's already taking the position, when he's doing things in the state, you expect him to step down? In Nigeria, I don't think that will work.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. Please, your name and where you're calling from. Oh, so sorry. It didn't come up. Mr. John from Otaku, good morning to you. Please go ahead. Sir? I'm with you. Hmm. Mm. I'm with you. Mm. I understand how you feel. Mm. 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 I'm with you. I understand you. Please round up, Mr. John. Yes. Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. John. I understand, your frustration this morning. And, Kebby, coming back to, the Akwa Ibom state government that, up until now, they've not been able to implement. I think it was Mr. J that mentioned something around the line that, you know, with what we're going through in the country at the time, any government that is still going back and forth on paying the minimum wage, that would be, referred to as wickedness. It was yesterday we read in news about how, food transporters, have decided to even increase price of food, because they mentioned it that December prices of food would, increase, and they listed some of their reasons, which are very, very valid reasons. And we're even saying that with the prices of food now, a lot of persons are not even able to, properly feed themselves. So, and we're saying that the 70,000 naira is not even enough for a single person, talk more of a household. So withholding in making the decision, implementing it, and carrying it out, it shouldn't be so difficult. And for any government that, is difficult for, we should question how much they care for, their workers and, for their people. But again, this is where we're at. In case you still want to, throw in one or two thoughts, 0808-704-1217. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name, where you're calling from, please. Good morning, Mr. Robert. Please go ahead. Oh, so sorry about that. Mr. John complained too. Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Go ahead. Mm. I'm with you. Mr. Roberts, we can't say that, because there are still criminal elements who just, go to vandalize government properties and tell them to make profits. You're aware of that, right? Hello, can you hear me? Oh, so sorry about that. Please do well to call back Mr. Robert. Because we cannot outrightly say that, these people who vandalize, the government properties, that they are paid to go do it. There are criminal elements in several communities, and especially as regards to, TCN and, electricity condition in different states. And every other time we're hearing that, oh, they vandalized a thing or two and there's power shut down. We can't say that these people are sent by, government officials to go. No, there are criminal elements who just go to vandalize things, vandalize government properties just to make, profit. And we've all agreed that the situation in the country at the time is pushing a lot of people to do illegal things, to survive. So we cannot just outrightly pin this one
I like how you said that the
on
fact that
government.
I like how you mentioned the fact that the situation in the country could push
Yeah.
people to.
Yes.
So which is why I'm still debating yesterday's news about who is taking bribe and who's not taking bribe. Anyway, I get what you mean, and
Yes.
it would be unfair to just say that somebody allegedly is paying these people to vandalize these things. Now,
Somebody
it's
from the government.
from the government.
Yes.
It's very alleged because we can't prove it.
But if
until
you
we-
remember, there's a particular news, that news that said when they arrest these people that vandalize it, there are some people that still release this, the people that vandalize the lights and call them thieves instead of, what did they say?
Yeah, to charge them for vandalizing things is different for charging them as for stealing.
It can also be, I don't know, like I want to support, but it can also be that somebody too might also be like chipping these people in to do this so that they can get money from it.
That's why we said, Charles, that we don't know that, right?
Exactly.
We don't know that. We
Proven
don't
that
have
somebody is
proof.
doing that.
Exactly. We don't have proof for that. What we know is that there are criminal elements who have decided that their job description is to vandalize, community properties, government properties, state-owned properties, and sell them to make profits. That's one thing. And the things that, or the solutions that TCN is preferring, we've all also agreed that, I mean, it's a fantastic step in the right direction, especially bringing in the community, sitting down with them, appointing people in the community to oversee things. It can help. And we're also saying, regarding sensitization, make sure that it cuts across. Hello, good morning. Good morning, can you hear me now? Hello, good morning. Are you there? Okay, good morning. Robert, is that you? Can you hear me? Okay, sir. I can hear you now. What did you say? Abraham from Duce? Okay. Abraham, please go ahead. I'm with you, Abraham. Please go ahead. Can you hear me, Abraham? Abraham, please do well to call us back. I don't know. I don't think this network issue is on our end though today, Kevin, right? Because it's very clear from this place. Just maybe move away from where you are and call us back. Thank you so much. Now let's move forward to this next story here. Okay, let's get this one. Hello, good morning, Mr. John. Yes. Yes. I'm with you. I'm with you. I did with you. Thank you, Mr. John. Just round up, Mr. John. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Mr. John. Thank you. I appreciate you for that. Let's move over to the next story right here on leadership. 20.8% of Nigerian households borrow food to eat. Let's look into the main story now. The National Bureau of Statistics has disclosed that 20.8% of Nigerian households resorted to borrowing food or seeking help from friends and relatives to survive over the past 30 days. Now, this finding is contained in the General Household Survey Panel Way 5 2023/2024, supported by the World Bank. It reveals the grim state of food insecurity across the country. Now, according to the report, 65.8% of households were unable to afford healthy, nutritious, or preferred meals due to financial difficulties, while 63.8% relied on a limited variety of foods. A further 62.4% of households admitted to being anxious about running out of food, with 60.5% saying they ate less than they should. And I think that if Mr. Sele was here, he would argue that this statistics is far from correct. He would argue that it is more than 20.8% of Nigerian households, because if you look at the medium class, the wealthy class, the poor class, you would know.
Do we still have a medium class in this country?
We don't. Is that your poor or rich?
And you would know the percentage differences in the population, and whether we like it or not, with where Nigeria is at the time, I think it's more than 20.8% of Nigerian households borrowing food. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Robert. Okay. Oh, so sorry about that. Just go ahead. Oh, okay. So sorry about that. We don't know, but Mr. John sounds really clear, and we're also hearing the other caller very clear. Maybe you should just move away from where you are and try to call us back. But again, Charles, this is the statistics that we have at hand right now. Let's hear your thoughts on it.
20%. 20% is a very, very low number. I would let's say, because they said they conducted a survey, yes, and perhaps maybe people answered some questionnaires. And all of
Yes,
that.
I mean, because this is coming from both the World Bank, General Household Survey. Maybe they really
General household survey. Now let's really look at it. There's a couple of people who would not even want to indulge in answering a survey, especially when it comes down to talking about
how they are
livelihood.
surviving.
Exactly. And now let's also look at the fact that a major percentage of Nigerian households, now let me not say major percentage, like the lower class citizens are quite uneducated, so they couldn't, I'm assuming here, that they could perhaps not have read whatever you gave them to sign or like answer questions from that. Fill up from that. So 20%, in my opinion, is super low. Consider, go on. You know what? We're asking.
Mr. John would say, go to Beggar Junction.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Go to the markets and ask all the sellers there how many people are buying from them credit. That's where you should actually even be. How many people are? You would see. I recently heard that like a bundle of vegetable ugu is like 1,000.
What are you saying? Mr. Sele said, yeah, it was 2 days ago he went, right? Yesterday. Mr. Sele said he couldn't even buy ugu of 1,000. Like, there's no 1,000 naira ugu.
See my point. Something that used to be 50, 100 naira went skyrocketed up to that. And you're telling me 20%. Who are you people trying to play with? Saying, giving this type of very low statistics. The hunger rate, the unemployment rate, the starvation rate in this country is extremely high, that I don't really think any of these numbers people are giving is accurate. None of them are accurate. Ask more questions. Go down to the grassroots. Talk to people who are being affected by this.
I think that there's food insecurity in Nigeria.
That is another challenge here, and you're telling me 20%.
There's
20%.
food insecurity. Because if Ogo leave is now over 1,000 naira, it's a problem. 20% of Nigerian households borrowing food to eat.
Even the rice that the 20% that most households depend on is now very expensive. So I think did that record?
Let's get this one. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Abdallah. Good morning. Please go ahead. On strike, yes. Yes, Ebonyi state government threatening to sack, yes. It's sad. Yes. Mm. To eat. Yes. That came up yesterday. I think it was Mr. Bright that mentioned that. Salary that month ends. Okay. Month has ended. Mm. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdallah, for that one. And you know how it is that it's important to lead by example, right? Because I mean, you cannot keep saying, oh, the states should pay. Or should implement and start paying, and we're still seeing that some federal government workers, have not received their salary. But again, somebody has texted us on WhatsApp. Mr. Yinka says, good morning all. This move by the TCN involving communities in partnership to safeguard their installation is great, but should be extended to other states. But if I may ask, FGN paid for the repair. Is this power sector privatized? Also, the NLC has done well by giving the governors enough time to do the needful. This one is from Mr. Yinka. Thank you so much, Mr. Yinka, on that one. Now, still on the matter of the statistics, Mr. Abdallah mentioned, he talked about it. In fact, when he was giving an example about some of the places in the north that, these people, might not have been able to reach because of insecurity and all of that, you see that it explains why the statistics is the way that it is. I don't know, Charles, do you feel any survey? So it means that it didn't get to as much persons.
It didn't reach
It didn't get to as much persons, but they've also done well with the statistics that came out. It also means that this is what is happening. Nigerian households have started borrowing to eat food. There are some persons who are anxious about, running out of food. There are some persons who don't know where their next meal will come from. This is the state of things in, Nigeria at the time. And, just like Mr. Abdallah would always say, oh, let's declare state of emergency on insecurity. I think that we need to declare state of emergency on food. Because at this time, we're having insecurity. And if food transporters, because they've talked about striking, they just mentioned striking and said, oh, we don't want to. But if some of the things that they are talking about, their needs, why this is important is because that's how human, if you know chop food, like if ugu is 8,000 naira,
it's very expensive.
If you want to eat good meal now,
it's very expensive.
If you want to eat good meal now, That's a lot. So I mean, the government has a lot to do. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Nze. Is that you? Mr. Isaac from Suleja. Please go ahead. Mm. 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 Oh, we lost you, Mr. Isaac. We lost you right there. Please do well to call us back because I mean you were trying to make a point with trying to make our leaders wear the shoes of the people to see if they would understand what the people are feeling. In case you're just tuning in, this is still Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. We're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, the conversation continues. So please do not touch your radio.
So, like, does the radio stop when you get into a car accident, or are you just sitting there like,
This is not your own. This is not. Should we go remember to honor? Or we go just enter here, begin to shout. Just imagine. Okay, Shami will be here. When Obi will start.
I'll say stuff out.
Okay, let's come back with this week's story.
headlines and politics?
You shut up!
And this is Charles that will do this thing. Charles, you're the one that did it.
That's Mr. Simeon, the person I was on the show before.
Hello.
It was good. I didn't want to replace it.
Okay, let's come back so that we can end this conversation. Okay. Yeah, your teeth. Let's end this conversation. All right, welcome back. In case you're just tuning in, this is still Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. Let me just roll out the lines one more time in case you want to be part of the conversation, and we encourage you to. The number to call is 0808-704-1217, 0808-704-1217. To text us on WhatsApp 0901-615-0614. We're also on social media at Facebook and YouTube at Bright FM Abuja. Please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms now. Moving forward to the story on the nation. Okay, I think we have a call on WhatsApp. Let's see if we can take this one. All right, we have lost it already. So just call us on our normal call line. Let's see how far. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name? I'm fine, thank you. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I am Sharaf from Ishma.
Sharaf from where? Hello, are you there? Hello, are you with me? Hello?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay, I can hear you now. What did you say your name is?
Sharaf.
Okay, Raphael. Raphael from Live Camp. Please go ahead.
Yeah. The issue of the statistics, there is not much about it. As the brother just said, the issue of insecurity, most of the villages or towns cannot be reached.
Mm.
And what I want people to understand is government policies don't get to affect us directly. They affect us indirectly. We may not tell us that they want to reduce population in Nigeria, but they will bring us there.
Hello, Mr. Raphael.
Strategy of price. Nigeria. Are you hearing
I'm
me?
with you. I'm with you, Mr. Raphael.
So, prices of items goes high and people can.
Hello, Mr. Raphael.
There will be diminution in the population. You understand? So, the main policy to bring up other policies in that. Hello?
Mr. Raphael, I think you might have to call us back. The network was really bad and we're struggling to hear you. Just do well to call us back. Hello, good morning. Hello, can you hear me? All right, we lost that one on WhatsApp. Please call us via our main call line 0808 704 1217. Hello, are you there? Hello? Okay, please call us on 0808 704 1217. Just call our main line and let's see how far that goes. Let's take this story on the nation. The Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has assured Nigerians that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is committed to tackling hunger and insecurity in the country. Now, Wike made this statement during the flag-off ceremony for the construction of the 9.8-kilometer Kabusa-Takushara access road. Now, he emphasized that the construction of roads in communities was a key promise made by President Tinubu to the people, and that better roads would help curb insecurity and provide smoother routes for farmers to transport their produce to the market. Wike also decried the poor condition of the government secondary school at Kabusa, directing the procurement department to upgrade the school to the required standard immediately. He promised to provide more infrastructure that would remind the people of President Tinubu's Renewed Hope Agenda initiative. Now, Wike urged FCT residents to be patient with the president, assuring them that things would get better soon. He also advised them not to listen to propaganda from desperate individuals, but to believe in the current administration's program for the people. Now, the construction of the road is expected to be completed within 6 to 7 months, and Wike urged the contractor to follow the guidelines for executing the project and to employ local people to create jobs for them. The minister's commitment to upgrading infrastructure and providing better services for the people of FCT is in line with President Tinubu's Renewed Hope Agenda initiative, which aims to transform the lives of Nigerians. Now, this is coming from Wike. Wike is Kebi's favorite person, and we see how that people have also commended how he has been doing his work since he became the FCT minister. But again, we're looking at him saying that the president is committed to, fighting insecurity and hunger, and also that the people need to pay less attention to, propaganda, being spread and all of that. And I'm looking at it and I'm asking the things that are happening in this country. People see it, people hear it. So when people say, oh, there's insecurity, oh, there's food insecurity, I don't think it's propaganda. I think it's what they are seeing. I don't think it's to castigate a particular or the sitting government. I think it's them saying what they are seeing and trying to push the government to do the needful.
Let me first of all commend Wiki as he says my personal.
Yes, no, Wike is a lot of persons are really doing him.
Does
So
not
yeah,
have his own side, but he's doing a lot. He's really doing a lot. You can see Abuja Road getting better and all. But coming out to say propaganda, with what is happening in Nigeria, we're looking at how the other story is carrying that Nigerians borrow food to eat. So you see that when you say propaganda, we're going through a lot, and I'm sure they are seeing it. So why coming out to call it propaganda?
You know, Charles Kirby, I think that we need to get to the point where when a minister or anybody in government comes out to say, oh, the president is fighting hunger, the president is fighting insecurity, the president is doing this or that, we need to see how, like what are some of the things? Can you lay it out for us so that we're not just hearing things, we're seeing.
As you were reading out that story, I was like very impressed. I'm very impressed with the much development that Wiki has been doing in the FCT since his appointment. But for some reason, as you kept reading that, and then hit the have patience. The president is working. I'm like, you just lost.
Like we've been having patience.
Well, out of patience.
In fact, the Nigerians, our name should be turned to patience.
We're really out of patience. I can see what Wiki is doing. But trying to talk about the fact that it's like we shouldn't listen to propaganda. We're not listening to propaganda. We're seeing. We're seeing things happen.
Ogo is 1,000.
We're living it. So
that's seen enough.
We're living it, and all of that is just kind of like transpiring to get to a place where all of us are devastated. Things are not working out the way we hoped it would, but it is what it is.
Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Hello, good morning. Are you there? All right, do well to call back 0808-704-1217. The network is bad, but just keep trying. Somehow it's going to go through 0808-704-1217. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Bright. Good morning.
Mr. Bright, good morning.
Mama.
Mr. Charles. Good morning.
Where is that? What is still thinking? It doesn't get passion at all. I'm very, very artistic and fashion. Look, where is the station? You reach this Abuja. You go to the permanent station Abuja, under the station. Whether they are not on track. This is not period to go and ask whether all the schools in Abuja, whether they are not closed down. Go back after this program and go and look at that. We are doing this is propaganda or they're saying the truth. If you have not tell somebody and you are fighting hunger, where do you expect the person to bring the money to that kid? The one you work for is not that they are giving you that fast money or they are giving you grant or they are bashing the money and you say you are fighting hunger. How do people work so that you make them to feed? So how do you expect them to feed when they walk? Because you don't pay them and they are fighting hunger. It's easy. Okay, let me ask you a question. You people that are present, what's exactly that Wiki is doing in Abuja? In fashion road that why people are choosing Wiki is because we are comparing maybe the worst from just like the former FCC. The only thing we did in Abuja is to build toilets. Nothing again. Everywhere you call it either one care or what they call it. That's the only thing in Abuja. As a form the Roman. To not really get fashion road now. You say, does Abuja look like a Juji, a federal capital? Does Abuja look like a federal capital? If you go to all these common money issues here, that is not called giant of Arabia, you go and see ordinary cities better than Abuja. What is in Abuja that people are clamoring Abuja? Abuja is not so fantastic. Abuja is just like the local capital. They call it the city. You praise Tinubu. What is it that Tinubu is doing that is so special that people praise them? Look at the statistics. You know when you live in the secluded area, that's why sometimes you see the schools that they build tall walls around them. You see that they don't know anything. Sometimes you see that something will happen. When they come and say, what did this thing happen? Because they are secluded themselves from the environment. Come to the city, go around. This regular, let me go to area like Chikezie or Lube, and let's say give us statistics that people are suffering from this 20%. You're calling 20%. Let me tell you, to be sincere, except you're a politician or God has blessed you in business, 90 to 95% of Nigeria are not feeding very well. They are not feeding very well. There's a difference between eating and feeding very well.
There's a difference.
If you soak in the morning, you get up in the afternoon, you shop yam with the red oil, you get the bath from the rich well. So what they are doing all this? Let me go to Chikezie again. There's a place they call Kusha. And after Kusha, there's another place. I don't know the name of that, but I'm forgetting them. That place is kidnappers there. Everything is there. The kidnap people there. Go to Buhari. You don't know that about Buhari now. Buhari is there. Well, come on, Papa here. That's there, but you see kidnappers losing around. Or go around this school, express road, that airport road. You see kidnappers doing their job. And they are president. What are you preaching? That is hypocritical. When you do certain things, you know that you're not doing it. You are doing it for themselves. They are just there as ministers because they are being compensated. Or they feel that the job that was given to them, they just gave them for this to be as principal. What is that they are enjoying in our project that is so special? Are you enjoying that? Maybe when you do something, you have for this issue. Do you get the judgment? No. They give you judgment according to the people you know, or according to your personality. That's what they do. Okay, like that. Some people are saying that I going to this, what's their calling? And a good government. They are doing a tribunal. We know the result of it. So we know the result of it. So let me go there and waste the time and come back. I'm not saying this is when you look at all this, when you read the history of Nigeria, you need the people that are in power now. They are some of them like echo voice. You see that all the whole case, they compare. That is what they are exactly doing today. Abacha did this one, the president did this one, Jonathan did this one did this one. Where are they today? They are not doing worse than even Abacha. They are even doing worse. They are suffering a massive more than Abacha. So, all those things doesn't attach me. Anything they want to do, if to the consideration as no income, they are not carrying money in India. Maybe they are first or second or third generation. You born one, this is come and scatter at work. You are collected for yourself. You are not taking it in India. You empty you can, empty you go.
Thank you, Mr. Murray.
When you go there, you stretch your hand, everybody will carry it across.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brad, for your contribution. We totally appreciate it. Now, we everybody, just like Mr. Bright was just mentioning some places that if you even go to now, you'd see the rate at which people are facing hunger and insecurity. Two major things that are the problem of the masses are these things that Wike has come out to say that the Tinubu's government is going to stop. And that's exactly what we're clamoring for. And that's why I don't agree that maybe any Nigerian at this point is believing in one propaganda or the other, because I mean it's very visible, especially when you go to the market, things that are happening around, people's complaints. So you see that all of these complaints are bordering around being able to eat food and being able to move around without fear for your life. We're talking about insecurity, we're talking about hunger. And if the Tinubu administration would really pay attention to these two things, well, they're really going to make headway. And every time that we talk about these things, we see people just come out to contribute and profess solutions. And we're saying, if the average Nigerian can profess solutions like this, how much more the government? And when we talked about this, one of the major things that Mr. Sele talked about, to actually go ahead to do this, solve this problem so that the average Nigerian person can survive. It's really very sad that some persons go out now just to find what they would eat and find their daily bread. And before you know what's happening, somebody has entered into the hands of one chance people. That's insecurity. Somebody goes out, they kidnap somebody, you can't come back, they're asking for 5 million. I mean, if you have 5 million, it's a lot. Hello, good morning. Oh, so sorry about that. 0808 704 1217. 0808 704 1217. Please do well to call back. You can also send us a text in case you're finding it difficult to get across to us via call 0901 615 0614. So like I was saying, these are the major things that are our problem at the time in the country. Hunger, insecurity, fuel price, all of these things is a lot. It's a lot if you ask me. So there's just really so much to do, and that's why if we're not feeling the impact in any of these sectors that we're complaining, we don't really need any propaganda to tell us to say what we're seeing. We're actually seeing these things play out, and that's why we're saying it. Hello, good morning. All right, do well to call back 0808 704 1217. That's our call line 0808 704 1217. Another thing that Wike also talked about, was the poor condition of, the government secondary school at Kabusa. Okay. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Miss Abdallah. Oh, yes. Yes, please.
Yes, Uche is normally called workaholic when he was in the bit of campus. But now that he came to Abuja, he has turned to, can I say, argumentative or argumentative, because you hear him quarreling with the governors of the state and other governors. You see, please, Mr. Uke, sit down properly and work. There is money in Abuja that has been given to you. It is under Trump. Yes, you have flagged up the construction of 9.5 kilometers of road from Jackie to Kabusa. How I wish you extend it to Kabushara, Borough area, and that as it is Chikezie, and then it is to Koje. Now, we have been mentioning in this platform and other platform on air that past government has left so many abandoned projects. Let me start from Bari area council, especially in one ward called Kau. We have NCT Farm Center for over 10 years now. It has not been completed. A place that is supposed to provide employment, recruit people to be trained on farm techniques and other things. And it has not been completed. And we mentioned it. And the road to that county was given since around 2010, 2011. Now, it has not been done. And we used to mention it on air. We even asked you to please find from the engineering department of your office, NCT, so that if the file has missed, you can be able to trace it. If it is dirty, you can just clean the dust and swing it to action, because we want to see a pragmatic work. That is, we want to see it practical. We want to see reality in you. It's about 35 kilometers from Bari to Kau. And that axis is bordering Niger, Kaduna, and Nasarawa State. We also have from Bate to Dodi, then to Galawi and Sherry. It has not been completed. Be good for you. Yes, what will be good for you as a minister to be able to earn credit by completing the road, so that the villagers that are over 60 will be able to benefit know that you are actually watching. And when they are watching, or when some people talk on their behalf, the people will not assume that maybe it's a propaganda. Is there anything that is new in the area that people will even wait for somebody to persuade them to play propaganda on the government of the day? It is lies that people are hungry. It is lies that there is serious insecurity in the country. You have tried your best, especially in reducing the menace of banditry in some of these places, especially the people of Kau, Shere, Igu, and other border areas. They have said that you have swung into action about 3 or 4 months ago, and your commissioner of police and other military and DSAs as much as you, the police, especially for both. They went to the bush with helicopters, and those on the ground, they were able to cover to the virus minimum the menace of insecurity there, because they were able to neutralize so many camps of the bandits in that area. But if there is any distress from that Gao axis, how long would it take these security people to go by road to that place if the road is not done?
Question of Mr. Abdallah.
Take care and focus your attention on doing the right thing by opening the rural areas so that the insecurity and the hunger insecurity will be reduced to the direct quantity.
Thank you.
In the general society.
Thank you so much.
There's no propaganda in the contribution of the contributors to the platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mr. Abdallah, for even taking our time to mention some of the things that, Wiki has also done, and, the things that he can improve on, and, also mentioning some places, around Abuja that needs attention. Now, moving forward to Blueprint this morning, corruption will not be legitimized, federal government vows. ICPC, EFCC, taxed on public awareness. Now, let's look into that story properly. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi has vowed that the federal government will ensure corruption does not become an acceptable way of life in Nigeria. Now, the Attorney General made this promise at the National Policy Dialogue on Anti-Corruption Performance in Nigeria, Successes and Challenges in Abuja. He emphasized that corruption is a major obstacle to national development and must be fought with all means possible. Now, Minister of Justice noted that while no nation is completely free of corruption, what's important is whether the system condones it or tries to prevent it. He urged anti-graft agencies to share their success stories with the public and disclosed that his office is working on a national anti-corruption policy focused on prevention. The policy aims to reduce the resources spent on investigating and prosecuting corruption cases. The National Policy Dialogue was organized by the Center for Media Policy and Accountability and featured discussions from various stakeholders, including the chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offense Commission, ICPC, Musa Adamu Aliyu, and the director of the MacArthur Foundation West Africa, Kole Shatima. They emphasized the need for collaboration among anti-corruption agencies and the importance of media support in telling their stories. At which date were we even talking about corruption, and we saw the statistics of how that corruption has reduced, and how many Nigerians were no longer taking bribes, and the Attorney General of Federation has also come out to say, we want to make sure that corruption does not become an acceptable way of life in Nigeria. That's a good thing to say. But we're looking at how it can be actualized with everything that is happening. There's a caller that used to say that the average Nigerian is a corrupt person, and you walk it, down from the average Nigerian up to the non-average Nigerian, the wealthy, the politicians, name it. And if you ask me, I think that corruption is no longer a problem. In fact, if you're not corrupt now in Nigeria, they see you as like, what's this one? Why do you want to be the good person? People now even praise you for being corrupt. We see it in the way that people live in our country. We see it in the way that people no longer question things that should be questioned. So if you even ask me, we have gotten to the point where, I mean, corruption has now even become, a way of life. But it's okay that the Attorney General has come out to say, you know what, there are measures that we're trying to put in place to make sure that, this doesn't be what the Nigerian people are known for. This doesn't become what Nigeria as a country is known for. We want to ensure that corruption doesn't become, an acceptable way of life. But implementation, no, that's where the issue is going to be. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name? Yes. Mr. Joseph from where? Mr. DK. Please go ahead.
So what is happening within our country today is that people are saying, just like I see the departments, they are not working. Yes, as we know that Mr. Chikezie is working constructing bridge. Does it mean that the whole department will wait until Chikezie finish the bridge before they now look into another thing? What about the agriculture, the food agriculture minister, the of these things? Are they not working? Are they not into works? Are they waiting there? So when they have to wait. So one person will not finish work, so another person will take over. They still are meant to work equally. Everybody next day is a day that everybody keep on working. What is happening in this country? Why are they not telling us the truth? Why are they creating the problem of this country? Why are they making this difficult for the masses? Look at what is happening. Hunger is everywhere. Many people, like there are people that have not work. At least if you should have work before you eat, but the way things happen, the people eat first and before have doing their work. Why are they making things? They don't have family, they don't have lives. Are they not seeing? Is it that when they have money, they don't come for do all things, and their own is well, and they look at other people that have life. This thing is just one life. Just like the other speaker that said that anything is like everything is trying to come from us. And that's a billion you better all keep for the family. All makes no sense. But thing that is love. When you have love for your people, I don't know, you have love outside, but you don't have the love inside. Look at it now. When you go outside, do many things. They invest outside, they go outside, do many things. So they abandon people, they come here to contribute more pain. And look at, we are just every day, it's not good. It's not good. They need to look at, like me now, I'm a carpenter by profession. For months now, I don't think what to do. So I'm like killing myself because things are hard. Things are hard.
I understand.
I know I feel like you get work, look at the man with family. Look at what they sell in the market. Look at they spend time they will not show the spending after the party. But it's not because they are the one creating it. They have everything on the takes to arrange this country to make it good for me, for all of us. To keep content us for people and gathering it and the farming space we take. No matter the houses, no matter the water, they are making it difficult for the masses. 3 of 6 other nations, people we are even better than them. But the way they do things, we still admire them. But we have what we have, we don't have it. But we are still suffering. In pain. Why? Let God help us to be in our heart. God is doing it. God has but it's good that they are under the leadership of the money world. That is what they think that is when the independent about. We believe in God. Nothing is about God.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. DK. I could even feel the sadness in your voice while you were talking. So sorry about that. But again, thank you so much for your contribution. That's why we keep lending our voices to just hope, that, with constant talking, constant preferring of solutions and lending our voices, the government of the day, will come to the aid of the average Nigerian, the common man now. Somebody on WhatsApp says, the suffering of the masses by the government is deliberate. Until Nigerians unite and fight the status quo, we keep wasting time. Says heaven helps those who help themselves. And we've had it all from raping our women by bandits before our eyes to other dehumanizing atrocities, insecurity and poverty. Yet we expected it would just end like that. The subsidy is gone. Pronouncement by the president has really dealt with the economic system and the lives of the masses. I'm just tired of talking about government, the government of Nigeria. This one is, from Mr. Isa from Guzape. Thank you so much, Mr. Isa, for texting us on WhatsApp. I appreciate your contribution. But again, we cannot even get tired of talking. We just have to talk about it. We just have to talk and just expect that somehow, we'll get, the listening ears of the government. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from. Mr. John, please go ahead. Go ahead, please. I'm with you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. John, for your contribution on that one. I appreciate you. Just like I was saying earlier before Mr. John's, call came in, it's important that for every time that you have the opportunity to lend your voice, you just use it, because that's the only thing that we can do, to just keep talking and see the way it is going in our country. If nothing is done, the next few years, we don't even know how people are going to survive. With the statistics on ground at the time that has not even covered the entire 36 states, and the several sectors who have come out to say, we are going to strike, NLC also, the minimum wage, just about a lot of things. TCN complaining about vandalism. There's no place that it is good. We're looking at insecurity, both on the high level and petty criminal activities. We're seeing people's house. People are it's just a lot. It's just a lot. These days you can't even park your car by the road and go into and commerce. You just see that and somebody has gone to sell it to make money. So corruption is everywhere. The attorney general of the federation, vowing that the federal government is going to ensure that corruption doesn't become an acceptable way of life. It's a fantastic vow. We want to be alive to see it come to pass, because in as much as we understand that no nation is completely free from corruption, the rate of corruption in Nigeria at the time, both from top down, is a lot. Is a lot, and for you to tame it or even reduce it drastically, there's going to be work to be done. The question is, are we ready to do the work? The AGF, are you ready to go all in to do the work and make sure that this your vow of ensuring that corruption doesn't become an acceptable way of life for us as a people, in Nigeria becomes a reality, because it means that you're going to annoy a lot of people, because there are people who are earning heavily from corruption. Kebi, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying. You're going to be enemies if the attorney general decides that this vow, I'm going to see it through to the end. You see this matter of corruption, it go end for this Niger, or we go reduce them drastically. He's going to make a lot of enemies, whether we like it or not. The question is, are you ready for that? Are you ready for the things that are going to come,
Not
alongside
just for
here?
him, but even his family. When you're doing this, trying to curb corruption and being the only one now to stand righteous in all of this, your family too is at risk, because this is something that's eaten deep into the system of Nigeria. And when you want to, you can only reduce it, you can't remove it. And so if he wants to do that, he needs to be prepared that a lot is going to be coming after him.
Exactly. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, are you there? All right, do well to call back 0808-704-1217, 0808-704-1217. That is our call line in case you want to reach out to us via call, to just share your thoughts with us. And you can also send us a text message on WhatsApp at 0901-615-0614, as we're trying to round up with the conversation for today. Every time that we sit down here, our conversation just borders around almost the same thing, just basically that we're reporting it in different ways. Because if even a child, or a primary school child, now, if you call the child out to just list out the problem of Nigeria, they are going to tell you exactly what the problem is. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, yeah. So they're going to tell you like exactly what the problem is. They're going to tell you insecurity. They're going to tell you food is a problem. They're going to tell you power. They're going to tell you, they're going to mention all of these things, and for every time we talk about these things, in fact, most of our callers make it a point of duty to also prefer, solution. People like Mr. Sunday, Mr. John, Miss Abdallah, Mr. Bright, they prefer solutions. They say, okay, this is the problem, right? These are also the solutions that we're bringing to the table. So it makes that even some people go as far as even preferring solutions regarding insecurity, where we have intelligence, our security people, they know these things. They know these things. The question is, why are we not doing the needful? 2025 is coming. Is a new year we're approaching. And I said the other day that I'm not seeing excitement. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Miss Abdallah.
Let me dislodge it so that you can conclude.
Yes, please. Yes.
You see, as Minister of Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is a good one.
Yes.
And he is calling on the anti-corruption part, CCTV and EFCC in collaboration with other security agencies and other stakeholders as the entire Nigerian people.
Yes.
So that's doing the right thing. It's a good one. Charity begins at home.
I agree with you.
Yes. The lamb takes after its mother. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that they are at the helm of our affairs. So they should exhibit good example
Of what they want to see. Exactly.
Yes. If they are upright, transparent, and they and confident, and they try dramatically to take corruption from the front, we can be able to do it. But in a situation where we discover that from top to bottom, there are guys that are standing. It's not for the people, the honest people, to actually understand and get them. Now, let the Attorney General bring out any program or policy the failure of audit. But if the activities of the government of the day and other programs, so that senior people will be the judge. After all, we are all Nigerians, and no Nigeria is bigger than any other Nigeria. So they should do it without any terrible or fear, just like they used to say in the court. Now, is a matter of evidence. So many practical evidences are available where they can start fighting corruption. Are they doing it or are they ready to do it? Do not think that you'll be or you'll be blessed. Just do the right thing at the right time so that at the end your legacy will stand for itself.
Thank you, Mr. Abdallah.
Because that is the most important thing, how to fight corruption. Starting from the first, that is using the former administration slogan, change. God bless Nigeria, God bless Nigerian people. Have a wonderful conversation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdallah. I think we're going to be rounding up this conversation with Mr. Abdallah's call. And I think, he just ended it in the best way possible. Change begins with you. And that's why I said that if the Attorney General is going to pull through with this vow, there's a lot at stake. He has to go all in. And just like Mr. Abdallah also mentioned, if you want to change people, let it start with you. The people that you're saying we don't want corruption again, can they see that from the top, we're also making sure that there's no corruption? But that's that for that. Kirby, let's get your final take for this morning.
Well, I like what he said. The change begins with you. That's the only way you can make any better efforts, because if you don't change, you just be the way you are. So in as much as we are going through with all our activities and all, make sure you look back at yourself and see how far you've gone and ways you can impact Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Kebe. I appreciate you for that one. And that brings us to the end of today's Bright Republic on Bright FM 98.7. A very big shout out to Mr. Charles and Kirby, for their thoughts and perspective this morning. To all of our callers for today, Mr. John from Otako, Mr. Robert, the network really got you on that one today. So sorry about that. Mr. Isaac from Suleja, thank you so much. Mr. Abraham from Duse, thank you. Mr. Abdallah, I appreciate you always. Mr. Raphael from Live Camp, thank you also. I think you're a first time caller, appreciate you. Mr. DK Isa, Mr. DK, okay, that's a different caller also. And then Isa from Guzape, thank you so much, for finding time to be part of the conversation. To our listener at home, we appreciate you for always taking our time, to listen to our programs right here on Bright FM. Thank you so much. And this is where we're going to call it a morning on Bright Republic. But do not touch your radio, because OB of Sports will be taking over next to give you all of the latest on the world of sports. It's the first.
So, does the radio stop when you get into a car accident? Or are you just sitting there
I'm so sorry. There's a whole lot of stuff I am occupied with at the moment.